We're ready.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm saying we're live. Fucking go.
Oh, you meant did I say all right? I meant all right, guys. What is going on? My name is Joe, aka Cap.
I'm Dom, not Mysterio.
Got Bash.
And I'm Francis. God damn it! Now we look dumb.
Yeah, now we look.
No,
dumb.
just you.
Just this very minute. Very minute is when we look dumb.
Never happened before.
Francis, you started looking dumb the second you were born.
Yeah, well, you want to know what else looked dumb? Your face. I need sleep.
This is the push. Guys, we got a lot of things to talk about this week, man. We got a lot of things to talk about on this stream. We've had quite a week in wrestling. We're going to have quite a weekend in wrestling. First ever Saturday night main event in the past, 15 years we said, or something like that?
I feel like it's closer to 20, so I want to say 16, 17.
You know what I didn't realize until this week, literally Monday, is the fact that Jesse Ventura is coming back for this.
Yes, he will be on commentary.
Yeah, the former governor of Minnesota.
Until this week.
Yeah. Shows how much you paid attention to the chat because we discussed this.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
Why is everybody being an ass to me today?
It's not just you.
Nah.
You were just late as fuck.
I can't believe the guy from Predator is going to be on Saturday night's main event.
But yeah, also speaking of main event, I don't know if any of you saw, but WWE posted on their social media. What are these little cinematic vignettes that Triple H has been liking to do lately? But it was Triple H and Cody Rhodes. And they were backstage at the arena, and Triple H presented Cody with a long case similar to the one that they had the Crown Jewel Championship in, those big lock boxes. And Triple H basically looks at Cody and says, "Hey, since we're doing Saturday night's main event, and we're gonna go old school, retro," he's like, "I figured, why not have this to go along with it? But it's only for one night only." Cody opens the case. There's a big yellow glow similar to
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. And then he looks up at the camera, smirks, closes it, picks it up, and walks away. But they don't show what it was. I think it's the Winged Eagle belt.
It has to be the Winged Eagle.
A new version of the Winged Eagle, or even just a throwback of the old Winged Eagle.
The Winged
Eagle. What do they mean? What do they mean by one night only?
He gets that whatever's in that case. He only gets that whatever's in that case for one night.
If it's the Winged Eagle,
so he only has. So they're going to change the look of the championship just for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
yes. I think that's what they're gonna go with, quote unquote. But then Cody's gonna be like, "No, this is the title. This is what I'm carrying from now on." And I think that's how. That's how they.
Very cool callback.
No, yeah, because I know Cody has said for a long time he wants to bring back the Winged Eagle, and I think that's how they're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just gonna make it where Cody's not gonna give it up, and he's like, "No, fuck that. This is my title."
Yeah.
He better keep it because it will be extremely stupid if he only brings it for one night.
Well, it's because it's a throwback. It's like when the Bucks do their throwback jerseys. For 1 week.
Yeah.
One and somebody can correct me on this. I'm not that big into the Titans, but weren't they originally
the Oilers?
They call themselves the Oilers for one night?
Yes, they were originally the Oilers. That's their throwback.
So it could be interesting, definitely cool. Very cool to see Saturday night main event coming back on NBC this weekend. It's not going to be on Peacock. It's going to be on NBC.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's funny you actually mentioned SNL earlier, Scott, because the entire genesis of Saturday night's main event was created to replace SNL when it briefly went off of NBC for a little bit. Yeah, they just went up to Vince and hey, we have a time slot that's empty. You got anything for us? And that's how we got main event.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How did you know about that?
Yeah, how the fuck did you know that?
I looked it up. I remember. No,
he's our residential weeb.
But that has nothing to do with Japan.
Anything to do with being a weeb, though.
Well, also, at this point, the fact that he knew something so specific about this part of wrestling, it makes him a weeb. He's the first weeb wrestler.
That's not what a fucking weeb means.
Being a weeaboo, that's just having off.
I know what it means, but you hit a new threshold.
No, you know what that was? No. He used up his brain cell for the day, so he's done now. He had his one good coherent thought.
You're gonna put hot sauce on flapjacks.
It's like when the DVD logo hits the corner of the screen perfectly.
Also, weird to think about.
Everybody's being a bit of a jerk tonight. You know who else is a jerk? Speaking of jerks,
you, because you didn't let me finish my fun fact tidbit. You beat a kiss.
Shut up. Speaking of jerks, let's talk about a couple of jerks right now that everybody is very invested in. By the way, like I said, we are super excited about Saturday Night Main Event. We'll do a little bit of predictions later as to what's going to happen. But before that, let's talk about these two jerks in particular. Gentlemen, if I told you at the beginning of 2024 that come the end of 2024, the New Day was going to be one of the most interesting stories in WWE right now, would any of you have believed me?
If you said it exactly like that, yes, because the New Day can become interesting very easily. If you would have said that they would have had a heel turn at the end of the year, I wouldn't believe you.
Now, we talked about this a little bit last week on the podcast, which you guys should check us out on YouTube, by the way. It's up there.
Nice plug.
Shut the fuck up.
But, Dom, you weren't here last week, so we didn't really get to hear your thoughts. So what do you think about heel New Day? So first of all, what did you think of the turn on Big E?
So we all knew it was coming from Xavier because they were kind of building that. I wasn't ready for Kofi to turn on E.
No, you were not.
You know,
my mind. Wow.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like when Big E was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be your manager," and Kofi was like, "No, like just stop right there." I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" I wasn't expecting that. I'm honestly shocked. And then the fucking promo that followed, it made sense where they're like, "Oh, you could have come back so long ago because you've been on, the analyst thing and blah, blah, blah. Like, you wanted to be our manager. You could have came back so long ago, but you didn't." He goes, "Now you want to come back." So I thought it was interesting.
Let me pose this question to you, because I posed this question to Scott and Francis last week. Is there any some people are saying that they were justified in
I would say
what they were saying. Really?
Yeah.
What?
All right. Well, we were all kind of in agreement that they were like completely out of bounds.
100% Dom is trolling right now. There is no way that you're the only person that thinks they're just fine.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I expected this from Scott, but you.
Okay. Hold on. Because here's my thing. I agree. Excuse me. I agree that because he's been back with WWE for a while, he could have come back as their manager a long time ago. I agree in that aspect, but the way they went about it, not so much. But I do think they have a point, and obviously that the whole point is the storyline, and I get that. But it's weird. It's like I agree and I don't agree. I wasn't thrilled with the way they did it, but I understand why they did it that way, because you want to build heat for especially you're turning this tag team that's been baby faces for well over a decade and turning them heel. Like, you need something big, and this was it. They didn't have to assault Big E, but just by doing what they did, it worked. So, in essence of understanding the storyline and seeing where they're going with it, as well as understanding that they need to build heat, that's why I say that they're justified. Because if they're not, then it's cheap heat. But this is genuine heat because you hate them because you know they're right.
Or at the very least that they have a point.
Yeah.
My question for you, Dom, is...
I guess I understand that point of view.
Go, Francis. Go, Francis. I'll not destroy, but I'll attack Dom on this.
Yeah. Here's a question I asked Cap and Scott last week about this, Dom. Do you think there is a possibility that maybe at the Rumble, Big E is a surprise entrant and he confronts Kofi and Xavier and that builds something towards Mania?
Yes, because my thought process is if they're doing this now, like they waited so long to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's cleared already.
I hope so.
He's already cleared for in-ring competition, but they're doing this to build tension for the inevitable return.
I think everybody.
I think they wouldn't have. They were waiting for him to be cleared to do this storyline, so they could have a good payoff and not just, oh, we're gonna start this and then hope that he gets cleared in the future, and then it doesn't happen, and now they're stuck. And like, how do they finish this?
Now they just look like jerks that insulted.
Yeah.
Exactly. At least this way, he could kind of have like some kind of retribution, or slap some sense into Kofi and Xavier, because I think that's what it's going to come down to. Is eventually, like you said, like he might show up at the Royal Rumble and do be in the match and be like, oh, by the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the only reason I think they're because like my whole thing with saying that they're justified too is I agree with what they said in terms of, if you wanted to just be our manager, you could have done it so long ago. So you sat there and watched us struggle for months without you, and now you want to help.
I get that, but we said it on the podcast last week. Like, you guys were apparently as much of the New Day as E was. So
absolutely.
Why is it that you're so mad at E now? Why is it that you've been the flagship tag team of the WWE for a decade now, but you're not able to like handle business on your own? Like the two of you are grown men. Like you could have.
They made it a point to show the fact that Big E was the reason they were so a big part of why they were so successful. They've historically not done well without him.
Yeah,
and that's the point. He's the muscle. He's the big. He's the glue that holds them together. Now they're starting to show that they can't get it done without him.
When they held the tag belts and set their point on the record, it was
Big E was always involved in those matches.
I guess I understand. I guess I understand Xavier feeling this like level of like inferiority.
So I'm shocked with
Kofi at all.
I agree there.
That's because here's the thing. Kofi has a bit of an ego with his character.
He does.
Because I said it last week on the podcast that he said I was already a legend before I joined the New Day. My question was when? Because I don't ever remember you winning. I don't ever remember you winning a title before that.
He won Intercontinental a couple times. He won mid-card titles.
Mid-carder.
Yeah, he never won a world championship until he was with the New Day.
Yeah, so a couple of Intercontinental championships, but that doesn't do anything for you. If you never joined the New Day, you probably still wouldn't have been a Hall of Famer. You're somewhat a Hall of Famer now, just mainly on the fact that you've been here for so long.
He's guaranteed
been such a great entertainer.
I would say all three of them are guaranteed at least one Hall of Fame entry.
Yeah.
Just because of the New Day. Because 15-time tag team champions?
Yeah. But here's the thing with his broken neck thing, and they said, yeah, I agree that he could have been a manager earlier. Because he didn't really need to take any bumps being the manager. No. But here's also another thing about that reference about his neck. Don't compare him to the previous people who injured their necks.
Yeah, see, that went too far.
Because literally, who are you comparing him to? You're comparing him to Kurt Angle. Edge, Stone Cold. But here's the thing. All three of them are psychopaths. They would have Kurt Angle was willing to come back after he broke his neck.
Not even Kurt
Edge
won a
seemed like
gold
he was
medal with a
forced
broken neck.
to.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like
Edge took years to come back.
Cautiously.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Besides Edge, who probably really wanted, who was willing to probably wrestle still.
I think
But
there's also a breakthrough in medical technology.
That too.
You're comparing him to people who are like psychopaths, and on Kurt Angle's end, a drug addict, because at the time he was taking a lot of pills.
Not when he won a gold medal.
Here's the thing for
no.
That's also true. Like, all of that's true. You can't really compare because the stories are completely
very different. Yeah. No, I wasn't thrilled with the comparison. Yeah.
Kurt Angle is just a psychopath. Edge, we truly thought we were never going to see Edge. When Edge retired from WWE, the thing that mended his neck, that process didn't even exist yet.
Yeah, they injected science
with, like,
into
Daniel
him.
Bryan or Paige.
No, yeah. No, yeah, I wasn't thrilled with the comparisons, but I understand why they
had to go hard.
You have to go hard to get the heat. You have to build
you had to go hard.
So I get it. It's good writing. I would say it was good. Whoever wrote that promo, good choice to build heat. But it made us feel a certain kind of way, and that's what it was meant to do.
True.
The whole point of it was to make us mad at them, and it worked.
Well,
here's my final thought on this topic, and I'll be done with it because I got nothing else. Dominic Mysterio might have been topped. Like, he was in the terms of the crowd hating on him. They're on the same level because nobody can get a word. No, they can't get a word. They couldn't get a word in. And I think that's gonna. I don't think Dom's gonna get that heat ever. Not ever again, but he's not going to get it that level back because New Day's over.
I'm so glad you pointed that out, man, because I can tell you. So the big reason why I wanted to talk about this was because they were supposed to, give their responses to, why they did what they did last week, and they got booed out of the building at all because they could barely get 2 sentences out.
Yeah.
I personally think that this was exactly the response that it needed to be. You needed to have this be the follow-up to last week.
Oh, I agree. See, because you also have to think about it this way. What did we say a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Xavier possibly turning heel, right? And we said, what's going to give him the most heat if he did something to Big E? And that's exactly what they did. They didn't have to be a physical assault. But just the fact that they rejected him and forced him out of the New Day, that was enough. And it worked, but it worked so well.
God, perfect.
Any other group, it wouldn't have fucking mattered. Like, if they would have did that with, like, the Bloodline or Judgment Day, who gives a fuck? They're better off on their own. But the New Day? Like, you can't do that to the New Day.
That's fucked up, man.
But that's what I'm saying. That it didn't need to be over the top. It needed to be just enough, and that's all it took. Because now think about it this way, right? Let's say that the Royal Rumble rolls around. Kofi and Xavier are both in the ring, this and that. They have a moment where it's just like maybe it's just the two of them, or
they clean out a little bit.
They come, Kofi comes in, like Xavier's been in the ring, Kofi comes in, and like the typical like they get in, like there are 15 seconds of glory, so everyone's down on the mat and they're celebrating. The buzzer goes off. Who comes in? Oh shit, it's Big E. Can you imagine the fucking pop that he would get? Especially if he came in and kicked the fuck out of both Xavier and Kofi.
I think Big E is going to be like. I don't think we're going to really. To be honest, I could be wrong, but I won't be surprised, and I wouldn't be mad if Big E is the only surprise return that comes for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
that would be a really good return.
But
I
yeah,
don't know
that's
he's
my.
be the only one, but
He did probably not the only one, but like my thought process on it, like I said earlier, is if they're starting this storyline of him being kicked out of the Judgment Day, the New Day. Can you tell it's
New
been a long
Judgment
day?
Day.
Him getting kicked out of the New Day. The fact that they're even starting the storyline where he's cutting promos in the ring and not just doing like pre PLE analyst shit. To me, that says he's most likely already medically cleared, or he's like on the brink. You know,
I agree.
Because like then, like I said, I don't see WWE under Triple H creative going that far to start something to generate that much heat.
Yeah. I don't
just
see them doing
to
this
turn
for
them
no
heel.
reason.
There has to be some kind of payoff at the end. Not like they can't just have him turn heel. Can't have the Kofi and Xavier turning heel and that's it.
True.
You know.
Yeah, no.
Also, side note, my last little tidbit about this, and this is more for the nerdy part of us, and the fact of, most wrestlers are also fucking nerds at this point. Did anyone notice the little nod to Dragon Ball Z?
With the ring gear?
No. During the
No.
during the segment, the anniversary segment.
The week I thought it was the week before. The week before when they were arguing.
It was the anniversary segment when they initially kicked E out.
Yeah. What was it? I think Xavier was wearing Goku Black colors.
No, that was
Xavier
that was
That was
beforehand.
the ring gear you're talking about.
When they were arguing, I know I've seen it. When they were arguing the week before the anniversary, when they were like the severe spat in the back of, that somebody referenced that the colors that were going was Xavier Woods was Goku Black.
Yes, no,
and
yeah.
Kofi
Xavier was wearing Goku Black.
Goku colors.
Yes, but during the segment when they were talking to Big E, Xavier, I didn't notice anything on Xavier, but Kofi was wearing the Majin logo.
Oh, I saw that on.
Was he really?
He had it on a chain.
That's awesome.
He had the Majin
I gotta
M.
catch that again.
Yeah, if you go back and look at the promo, look at the chain he's wearing. It's the Majin M. So everyone's like, that's where he turned. That's his heel.
Majin Kofi.
So
because he finally caved to Xavier,
like Vegeta did to Bobbity.
Yeah.
True. Oh well. I just think it's very interesting, man. In 2024, beginning of 2024, I don't think any of us really.
No, I did not foresee the New Day turning heel.
No.
And here we are in December, man, and that's all we're talking about. All we're talking about is the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else we most likely did not see coming in 2024 is one of your favorite factions, Dom and Scott, both of you, the Wyatt Sicks. I don't think any of us saw that coming this year.
Yeah. So I want to speculate on this a little bit because I kind of added that to our topics, and you guys will understand the main reason why. Because I saw on TikTok somebody talking about the Wyatt Sicks. I forgot what opinion they gave in, but that's the least important. We can give our better opinion on it. But what's his name? Bo Dallas. He lost on Monday to Karrion Kross, I believe. And somebody was wondering whether that was a good idea, whether that was smart to have him lose a match because of the intensity of his character. But that's mainly what I wanted to talk about when it came to the Wyatt Sicks.
So yeah, we can definitely talk about this. I think we can definitely talk about this because it is interesting. It's an interesting thing to think about here. The Wyatt Sicks, for a few months, built perfectly. I think built perfectly. The story, the ambiance, costumes, everything has been done perfectly so far. No, absolutely, I think everything's been done perfectly. I think after the rivalry with American Made, things slowed down a little bit, but you didn't really see them much for a little while, and now obviously things picked up again. This new story with the Miz and the Final Testament. Um, I know how close the two of you are to this story. We're all close to the story, but Dom, Scott, the two of you are relatively very close to this faction emotionally. So I definitely want to hear both of your takes on the fact that their first loss is not just a first loss, a loss to a faction like the Final Testament haven't really had much going for them ever, really, when I think about it.
Judgment Day from Wish. I've said this multiple times.
Exact Judgment Day from Wish. But so I want to get your guys' take on this because their first loss is on a random Monday Night Raw. More importantly, the fact that Uncle Howdy, Dallas, is the one that ate the pin. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on this.
I actually missed that. Was he as Bo Dallas or was he as Uncle Howdy?
As Uncle Howdy.
Oh, that's weird.
So my thoughts on this, honestly, I haven't formed a full opinion on this yet because I want to see where they go with it. You know what I mean? Like if it's a one and done, whatever. Because I feel like the faction itself and the character of Uncle Howdy is strong enough to take one of those like bullshit losses as like whatever. Because I also didn't watch the match. Was he pinned clean or was it like shenanigans?
To be clear,
he got hit with a fire extinguisher from the manager of the Final Testament.
It was powder. So to be clear,
it wasn't clean.
It wasn't clean.
So it was shenanigans involved.
He got blindsided by Paul Ellering with the powder.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So that's like I said. I think that's okay as long as it's like a one and done. I wouldn't have them lose consecutively or frequently in that way or in general. But having him eat a pin that way is, and like he didn't lose clean, so that's like whatever. But because like this way it kind of boosts up Final Testament a little bit, but also protects Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy because it's not like he just he ate his finisher and fucking stared at the lights. No, he got he got blindsided. But like I haven't formed a full opinion yet because I want to see what happens next time they fight because the way I'm thinking that they're going to do is like now he learned from that and it's like he's going to do better and like he's going to win the next match and this and that. And like just to show like yeah, he's not as strong as like Bray was, or because like Bray might not have lost that way if he was still around. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean, but I think they do need to be very careful with that because
I agree.
It could branch into other problems of like you're absolutely right. This could come and turn into a problem of you're not as strong as Bray. Bray would not have lost that match.
Yeah, but again, it's a matter of what happens next. So I'm just curious to see what they do next.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so all right, I actually have an opinion on this, and I actually think this is for the better. Not consistently losing, like Dom said. I don't want to see consecutive losses from the faction alone. I don't care about Solo because I know they're not always going to wrestle weekly. Like, we're not going to see Bo Dallas wrestle like 2-3
for like
weeks
another
in a row.
like 2 or weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, but showing little chinks in the armor, showing that he isn't unbeatable, because the major problem that we had with the Fiend is he was so unbelievably dominant that by the time he went and got his first loss by Goldberg, I believe, it made no sense. There was really no way. I think it was Goldberg. It was either Goldberg or Roman.
Because I know, because he lost the belt to Goldberg, but it was typical
or
like
Seth or something.
That was like a no contest. That was no contest, so there was no winner, no loser.
Right. So yeah, the problem with the Fiend is you saw him so dominant that you couldn't imagine at all him losing. Mm-hmm. So there was we could never know what actually was going to happen when he did lose that title. So you put in a couple of losses, and then when the time comes where he does get a championship or he does do something significant, and he gets that loss, and we're just like, okay, makes sense. It's not going to be much of an issue like it was with the Fiend, because it kind of felt like they were just making him lose to make him lose, because they kept putting up against people that they had no choice but to make him lose because of who he was versing.
Yeah, because that was the other issue. That was the issue that plagued Bray's career as a whole, let alone just the Fiend. Like, even as just Bray Wyatt, and he would be so dominant, but he can never like get it done in the biggest times. I mean, the fact that the dude only held a world title like 2 times.
He's our Ziggler.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and we also have to consider how long those title reigns were as well.
Yeah, they were both very short compared to what they're doing now.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in here.
But thank you, Scott. Like, you worded it way better than I could. I couldn't think of the right way to say it. But you're absolutely right. Like, he needed to lose. He needs to lose every now and then just to show that he's not untouchable. Because that was the issue with Bray, is like he would win and win and win and win, and then when he finally lost, it sucked so much more because you expected him to win.
So I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in here. And genuinely speaking, I don't think this had anything to do necessarily with the Wyatt Sicks losing. I think that this needed to happen because you needed to give the final testament some kind of credibility in this rivalry.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I love Karrion Kross. I like Karrion Kross. I've been a fan of Karrion Kross for many years, even when he was in the independent scene as Killer Kross. I've been a fan of this man for a very long time. He has not done a singular thing since getting rehired.
He hasn't done anything since. He hasn't done anything of value since getting called up from NXT.
And that was how many years ago?
Yeah.
Now.
Like,
because what was it? Fucking Vince put him in gimp gear.
He was in during the COVID era.
Mm-hmm.
Thunderdome, that's right.
For the love of God, we're going on 4 years since that era of wrestling now. You need AOP. AOP is another perfect example of this. AOP. I like AOP. I like these guys.
Yeah. Scott, what's the point of having
monsters in WWE again? These guys are monsters. These two. They have not done a singular thing in the main roster.
I think since they did something in their debut, and that was about it.
Yeah.
They almost had something with Seth Rollins, maybe, but then they got let go.
Yeah. I just don't understand. Like, what is their purpose in the Final Testament?
To be
they're just there as muscle. That's it.
Yeah.
There's muscle.
Because they're authors, and this is a testament in books.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay,
you guys.
That's the reason in Francis's mind, but in reality, it's because they're as heavy.
Okay. And also
they look too dominant of a tag team to be losing this much. Like, you're losing to people you should not be losing to.
Because their first run in WWE, they were untouchable.
They were.
They fucking put people to shame.
And I'm gonna level with you guys. We're talking trash about them. I don't hate the look of this faction, to be honest.
No, it's just they're not being booked properly.
If you
but like, I feel like there's nothing for them.
If you look at these people, all these people together, there is no reason why this can't be at least an upper mid-card group.
They
if
could
you're just looking at them on paper.
I mean, AOP could be tag champions.
They could.
AOP
anytime they wanted
champions. To. Carrie and I could easily see as an IC champion.
I could see him as a fucking heavyweight champion.
Uh-huh.
He was a phenomenal champion. NXT champion.
Paul Ellering, a legendary manager, and then there's Scarlett.
She's hot.
Because I'm tired of our never-ending story to having these titles that they never defend. That for a good 2 months, a month, we didn't even see those titles around their waist, and magically they appear on Monday.
Yeah, we'll get.
We're talking about Judgment Day.
Yeah,
they're losing to the War Raiders. There's no way the War Raiders don't win that match.
I hope they do.
You have to put Dom. You're gonna have to bring that button back.
I don't want to,
because this is a longer, never-ending story. This is about to be longer than Cody Rhodes' never-ending story.
No, definitely not.
No, it's not.
The joke is dead.
Cody's was like fucking 2.5 years long.
We've only been online for a year, Scott. We can't.
You can't start recycling jokes now.
If we start now, we're doomed. Doomed, I tell you.
I'll find a new thing for us, Scott. Don't worry.
Don't worry. We will come up with
some other stupid 80s reference.
Better jokes.
Trust me, I got plenty of those.
One of them might be Francis talking about Jacob Fatu's prison record.
Prison? Oh, God, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, no, you weren't there for the...
Guys, if you didn't listen to Francis's rant about Jacob Fatu being from
prison,
please listen to that episode.
I honestly forgot about that.
Listen to that on YouTube. It was fun. It was a fun segment. But anyway, back to the conversation at hand. Yeah, no, listen, man, the Final Testament needed this. I don't think it has anything to do with making the Wyatt Sicks look bad. I don't think it has anything to do with showing any chinks in the armor. I think this was entirely done to show that this team has some level of credibility, because otherwise there was no point in continuing the storyline past this week.
Also, and this is something I'm going to throw out there, I'm really interested to seeing how the Wyatt Sicks are going to get back at them. And I'm not just talking like in a wrestling match or something. Like, they're probably going to do some really weird horror movie shit to the Final Testament as part of revenge. And I can't wait to see how that happens.
Eric Rowan just bursting through a door with a hammer.
He's going to Jack Nicholson Karrion Kross's door. Here's howdy.
Francis, what was that stupid joke we used to make about Adam Pearce just losing his mind and then he jumps out through the bathroom with a knife or something like that?
Yeah, no, like, no, that? Yeah, I do. I remember that. Like, he was mad at someone, and Cap and I had this. He was mad at Braun, and then like me and Cap had this stupid joke where like he waits until Braun takes a leak or something, and then he bursts out of a bathroom stall with a knife. He's like, "Yo, motherfucker, don't fuck with me," or something like that. I don't remember. It was dumb.
It was weird. That's coming from we had a weird, like... Listen, man.
We still have weird shit like that.
We do. We have plenty of weird shit like that. But anyway, yeah, man. Final Testament. Eat Wyatt Sicks. How much longer do we see this going for, this story?
Maybe based on the Rumble.
I was going to say at least like another month or so, especially based on the rate in which they progress, because we're only really seeing them like every other week.
That's true. Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, so I got a topic for us to talk about. Let's talk about kind of encapsulate both shows, to be honest with you. And it is the follow-up to the women's mid-card titles. The tournaments are going on right now. And so far I've been liking them. I've been liking both of them. However, there was one match that happened this past week on Raw, and it caused a bit of controversy.
Ooh.
In the online wrestling community. That's right, folks. The internet is on fire.
No, the internet is mad again. Fucking newsflash.
The internet. Oh, the online wrestling community.
All right.
I would like to
I can't wait to shut down this one
again, but let's be honest. Are you guys ever not on fire? Is the true question. Anyway, a lot of people felt that during one of the triple threat matches for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, one happened this past week. It was between Ivy Nile, Lyra Valkyria, and Zelina Vega. Now, a lot of people believe that Zelina should have been the one to win this entire tournament. Should have been one of the people, or should have been at least one of the women in the finals match, if not to win first ever women's intercontinental title. However, she lost this match. She wasn't pinned, but she did lose this match. Lyra Valkyria advanced. And a lot of people were quite upset with this. Now, I see Scott ready to burst through the computer screen underneath me. So I will now open the floor. Scott, tell me your take on the idea that Zelina could have won this match.
No, she shouldn't have won this match. She's not entertaining. She's not really that good. She's kind of overrated. The only reason people really like her is because she's a hot Spanish woman. Like, that's she hasn't really shown anything that is worth having a title, really. She's a lot better at being a manager. She's a lot better at hyping up other wrestlers. But it's not like she has a history of succeeding. I mean, she won the King of the Ring. And to be honest, this new era of the King of the Ring kind of trash because they let mid-card wrestlers win these tournaments. And then the crown of winning King of the Ring evidently means nothing. Because the last few times we had people with crowns, the main champion has kind of shut them down and could destroy, like it did to Xavier Woods. He won the King of the Ring. Roman's like, yeah, no, stomp the crown out, and then that was completely done. The King of the Ring hasn't really been successful, and that's the only thing she's really done. But
I would have to. My only thing with that is I agree but disagree because like the last King of the Ring tournament, both winners went on to win both championships.
Yeah. Not both.
Gunther and Nia Jax both won.
Yeah, that's because they had to. That's because there was such a failure the few years before that they had to make it somewhat reasonable to be like, all right, let's.
But I'm saying it's like kind of changing now, so it's like we'll see what happens next year.
Absolutely changing.
But I agree what you're saying. Like a lot of the previous King of the Ring tournament winners have not gone on to do anything. All they did was like adopt a British accent for some reason.
I don't know if I'm pointing the right way. And for people like Francis, who are uber simps,
right. No, there you go.
Get over it. Just get over it, okay?
I love Zelina Vega, but I wasn't simping her for that hard.
This isn't the Attitude Era where we have a bunch of somewhat untalented female wrestlers who are just insanely hot so they get title shots. That's not the case anymore. Your looks ain't gonna do anything. Give or take that we've had, and people are gonna hate me. Give or take, we had Charlotte Flair win it like 20 times. It's really, your looks doesn't really do anything. You have to be entertaining, and she's not really entertaining.
So,
a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, my thing is, I also agree with Scott. I don't think she should have won because I think there's plenty of other women that could have a better title run with it than she could. My only thing is, I do kind of agree. Her matches tend to kind of fall flat because she does the same match with everyone she wrestles. It's always the same thing. The typical Zelina fight is she gets her ass handed to her for a decent chunk of the beginning of the match. Then she gets to come back. She references Eddie Guerrero by doing the shimmy before she does Frog Splash, and then she'll do a 619, and then a Meteora, and then she'll eat the other person's finish, and they go home, and that's it.
People gotta stop.
That's almost but that's every Zelina match ever.
Yeah, we gotta. Sorry to get this all a little bit off topic, but we gotta stop with this Eddie Guerrero shimmy. There's like 5 people who fucking do it now. It's time to just let it go. Like really, there's only one person that could do it, and he's already dead. So it needs to stop. But continue.
No, I mean like Dom doing it kind of makes sense because they're still kind of going with like he might be his dad.
Yeah. But then you have Liv doing it.
Liv do it, yeah, but that makes sense because she's. I would say Liv doing it kind of makes sense because she's with Dom, and she's a heel, so she's just being a cunt about it.
Yeah,
Rhea doing it,
I just don't really like.
Kind of, sort of makes sense, but not really. But because it's like, she's just kind of stole his gimmick a little bit.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It's
the whole mommy thing and the. Yeah,
it's cheap. It's not. I'm not gonna say cheapy because it's healed and face doing it. It's a cheap pop, and it doesn't hold anything.
No, knowing
that it will never look as good as the original.
No, that I agree with, but it is cheap
pop, or is it? Is it so? Let's have this conversation then, because I've thought about having a conversation like this, very similar. This is just a perfect gateway to it. Is it a cheap pop, or is it some sort of I don't know. I've always gone like back and forth about this, whether it's like because I guess you could also say similar things about when somebody goes for an elbow drop and they do Macho Man's point to the sky and stuff like that when they're about right before they do an elbow drop off the top rope. I guess I've never seen it as like a way of getting a cheap pop. I always thought about it as like an homage or something like that.
It can go either way. It depends.
So
paying homage to somebody is one thing, but it's like nobody really does elbow drops anymore except for like fucking Kairi Sane, and like Bailey sometimes. And like I feel like I haven't really seen anyone, at least in WWE, I haven't seen anyone really doing the Randy Savage point thing before doing an elbow drop because like I said, nobody really does elbow drops anymore. But also like with the Eddie shimmy. I feel like it's weird. Not as much an homage, but just like a way to get a reaction. Like in my opinion, it's kind of cheap because it's like, for a heel, it kind of makes sense to get a cheap heat, especially if they're going up against someone like Rey Mysterio or against Dom, because like he made Eddie part of his gimmick. You know what I mean? Because like Dom Mysterio doing it makes sense because it's part of his gimmick that he's like trying to be Eddie.
He's the only one that makes sense.
But that's what I'm saying. And like Rey doing it maybe would make sense because they were so close. They were good friends.
Rey makes sense because they were
like he's honoring his friend. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. They're the only two, in my opinion, that makes sense because Zelina does it because she's like, Eddie was my hero. I'm like, but
Eddie was everyone's hero.
Like just because like you don't see me like doing fucking Sister Abigail in the ring, like no, like it's different. It's like I don't know. I feel like
it stops.
There's a very fine line between paying homage to somebody and taking advantage of their legacy for a cheap pop. Or a cheap heat, depending on which side of the fence you land on.
It's completely lost its value.
Yes.
Because at the beginning, it was very great in the beginning. It's like, oh my God, yes, the Eddie shimmy. You know, it instantly popped in your head. You were excited because you're like, I haven't seen this in so long.
Yeah.
It's great.
Or
As
like
a little homage.
Or like
But
a
then-
heel does it to get a cheap heat because they're going to try to hit the Three Amigos, and then Ray stops them from doing it.
But the fact that Michael Cole has put so much emphasis on it being the Eddie Guerrero shimmy means that nobody cares anymore because I don't want to see it.
The fact that I see it every week.
Shit.
Yeah, it's the fact that I see it every week now.
Even if you put, it's not only every week, is if you give those wrestlers their spot in the ring to wrestle, each one will do it. And it's like, all right, like, you know, you got to create your own stuff. You can't let him rest. He's dead. Okay.
It's diminishing returns at this point because everyone does it so much. It's lost all of its value to me.
And how did Eddie die? Overdose?
Heart attack.
Cardiovascular
heart attack through a bunch of pills, right?
And the steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not. This is going to sound very messed up, but give and take that the family I come from, Eddie Guerrero didn't necessarily die in an honorable way. He kind of died from doing way too many drugs, which isn't something that we should keep. It isn't something that we should keep mentioning. It's not something that we should keep. I mean, yes, Eddie was great. I love honoring Eddie Guerrero, but it gets to a point where it's like, okay, you know, he didn't really. Like Bray Wyatt, I understand constantly remembering him, constantly making sure to remember Bray Wyatt, because that was the death that took us all. I mean, Eddie took us by shock, but then when you actually look at the reasons why, it's like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, man.
The silence is loud. Wow, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like because he was. It's a tough subject there because it's like he was like trying to better himself. Like he stopped doing the drugs and he was getting clean, but like the roids caught up to him and everything. Like he didn't OD. It was more just the years of abuse.
Everything caught up to him. That's
because he was clean at the time.
That's why people don't really give that death that hard of a time because he was trying to get clean. It was just
he was clean. I think the only thing he was still doing was the roids.
Yeah,
but it was also the early 2000s. Everybody in the locker room was shooting up.
Remember when Booker T? Bro, I remember this. Sorry, Cap. We'll go to switch on, but I remember a segment. It was barely a segment, but it was just Booker T just holding a dumbbell working out. And I thought it was crazy because his arms were massive. And then when the next time I've actually seen him, it was, oh my God, you like shrunk in half.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you stop taking the roids.
What happens when you stop?
Dude, look at Triple H. Triple H stopped taking the roids and he got a fucking beer belly for a few months.
Look at Ruthless Aggression era 2003 Booker T, and then look at Booker T in TNA.
In like 2008, 2010.
There's a big difference, man.
There's a huge difference. I would say the only at the time during the Ruthless Aggression era, there was very few people that were all natural fucking muscle, and the one that everyone, myself included, thought was bullshit that was all natural clean muscle is fucking Cena.
Yeah.
I thought, even as a kid, I thought he was fucking roided out. And I was like, dude, this dude is jacked up. Like, look at him. But then, like, fucking all these years later, he's still clean. He's still fucking doing all this shit. And he's still, I think he's more jacked.
Yeah.
Now
he's insane.
Than he was before. I'm like, dude, this dude just does nothing but lift. Like, holy shit.
He only lifts, lives in a gym, and eats an entire raw cow.
So, all right, so... Yeah, so, all right, yeah, sorry for stopping the topic, but before we go to predictions before we go to the predictions and the Dom Mysterio topic, just to remind you guys, I want to mention my topic, and my topic is rumors.
Oh.
Specifically rumors about the first night of Raw on Netflix, where we reportedly have 2 rumored matches happening, which are kind of crazy.
Before you do this, spoiler alert for anybody.
It's not.
One of
It's a
them-
rumor.
It's not a spoiler. It's a fucking prediction.
It's a rumor. No, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Just
Apparently,
tape.
I'll give you the lesser hyped one. Apparently, we're gonna get CM Punk and Rollins on opening night of that.
Nice.
I don't know opening, but let's say we'll get that match. And here's another thing, and it's not only the surprising of what kind of match, it's surprising about what they say could happen. So one of the matches is also Liv Morgan defending her championship and ultimately losing that championship to the returning of Becky Lynch.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one called. Yes. Rumors. We had rumors we talked about a couple weeks ago, rumors of Becky Lynch returning. And then I think a couple of days ago, I saw somebody mention that Becky could return and dethrone Liv Morgan for that championship.
I mean, listen, honestly, if they wanted to bring her back sooner rather than later, I would say the first episode of Raw on SmackDown. I'm on SmackDown. I'm fucking shot. The first episode of Raw on Netflix would be the way to go. Like if you didn't want to wait until like Mania or the Rumble to bring her back, the first episode of Raw on Netflix would be the best possible way to do that, because now it's just like, oh shit, she's back. Like, here she is, here she comes, and fucking take Liv out. Like, just come in, fucking just make Liv look stupid.
Wow.
That entire faction is just where champions go to die.
No, I don't even.
Judgment Day?
It's honestly, I don't think they planned on giving Liv that title in the first place.
Yeah, no, it's just the fact that
I think they were eventually going.
It's the fact that both. It's the fact that both titles are severely, like, lacking in power. Because we never see the tag titles. They're never defended.
My issue with the Judgment Day is they're more interested in, like, progressing other storylines for the Judgment Day than worrying about the titles that are attached to them.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
I also feel like,
why are we doing Finn Balor fighting Damian Priest over and over again when he's a tag team champion? Shouldn't he be fighting for that title?
Yeah, and also the War Raiders. How long has it been since they've been number one contenders? I feel like it's been like
a couple
of weeks, a month.
They had their title match already. It was it ended with the usual
Judgment Day shenanigans.
Members of the group, but they did have their match already. This is their
now. This is a rematch,
and I'm not going to lie to you. They're probably going to win.
They're probably going to win because I think Adam Pearce banned the rest of Judgment Day from ringside.
The rest of Judgment Day is banned, and to be honest with you, it just makes sense to put the belts on them right now.
Exactly. My main issue with the Liv title reign, I don't think that they intended on giving it to her in the first place. I think this was more an apology for her first title run, which was botched from the start, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Her cash in on Ronda and then constantly having her win by luck.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this was more like, hey, Rhea's injured, so we need you to hold the title for now, and then we're going to kind of take it where it goes.
I mean, she's not really doing a good job as it is.
She's not really doing anything with the title. It doesn't feel like they had anything planned out, and they're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants at this point. But it's also, at this point, without Becky Lynch on Raw and with Rhea injured, there was nobody else to give the title to. They don't want to move I don't blame them. They don't want to move Tiffany Stratton from SmackDown to Raw because now you have the potential. Rhea is back, and you have the potential to have Becky Lynch back now. It wouldn't make sense to move her over and have her cash in the title. I think they might just save that for something else on SmackDown, which I'm really hoping my thought on this isn't true because I know she's in the United States Championship match. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The finals on that?
She is. She's in the tournament.
No, she's in the finals, I think. It's her and Naomi.
She's in the final.
What I'm afraid of is that they're going to have her lose that match and then cash in to win it.
No. They should not do that.
But that's what I'm afraid of. I'm like, because like,
I don't think you.
Where do you go from there? Like, if she loses, and like,
yeah,
you know,
I don't think you have to worry about that because after that whole debacle with Austin Theory, I don't think that's ever going to happen again.
True. I don't know. We'll see. But
actually, it's interesting you mentioned that because yeah. No, since we're talking about this, I actually did not know the Becky Lynch rumor or anything like that.
Me neither. That was news to me. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
I heard a bunch of
don't
stuff
get me
for the
wrong,
Raw.
it
on
is
Netflix
absolutely
rumors.
awesome to to see Becky coming back and everything like that. We more or less all expected that she was going to come back. But she could definitely return on, the first Raw on Netflix. I don't know about her immediately winning the title, though.
I don't know. I could see them turning around and have like Adam Pearce be like, "Hey, you need to defend your women's championship, but I have an opponent, like a mystery opponent for you, and you'll fight them on the first." Raw
No,
on
because
Netflix."
I think they're in too deep with this Rhea Liv story right now. They're in too deep, and I think that the only satisfactory ending to this story in particular would be that Liv does drop the belt to Rhea, is the thing. If you just have, Becky win that belt, and
Yeah, but then we can get the better WrestleMania match of Rhea and Becky.
I mean, I don't know.
Already
I don't want to.
I know, but I would rather watch that match again than Rhea and Liv at Mania.
I'm tired of seeing that title constantly go back and forth between two wrestlers.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well, now Io Sky is getting involved in that title picture again, which is good.
Which is very good, very good. And,
yeah, she's one of the matches for the main event.
True.
I have a topic.
Anyway.
What's up?
All right. Do you guys have anything else or to bring up before we get to predictions? I know someone said.
I would just say the one other thing I think might happen with the Raw on Netflix. I think we'll see Cena.
Yes,
we're definitely seeing. He said he was going to be there.
Oh, did he say that already?
Yeah, like during the retirement speech, he said, "When Raw goes to Netflix, I will be there."
Oh, okay. Never mind.
For Francis's, I do have one other topic. It's going to be very quick.
What's up?
The exchange portal or the free agent portal that WWE is doing right now, where it's basically like the draft, but instead it's sort of like a draft window, or kind of like they do in professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys heard about this?
No,
I have not.
Yeah, so it's instead of like doing, I don't know if this is instead of the WWE draft, but instead there's going to be, I think we're in it right now. Actually, there is a free agent like a transfer portal between Raw and SmackDown. And
so like people could trade from the brand.
Draft.
Okay.
Oh,
it kind of works the same way as the draft. I guess stars from the other show up on the other, and then I guess that's them being transferred to the show, to the other show or something like that.
I think they're more just trying to
trade deadline.
They're trying to make it more like professional sports, like in hockey. Be like, hey, we traded you over to like the Rangers, fucking trading Trouba over to Anaheim.
Don't even get me started on that.
I mean, the dude really wasn't producing much anyway.
He wasn't, but I like Trouba.
No, I know he was a cool dude to watch. Like he was an entertaining hockey player, but like he really wasn't like doing anything for you guys. I think you're better off.
Yeah, not like we're doing fantastically this year anyway. So doing fine, but
could be worse.
Just fine is not.
At least you got to keep your goalie.
Oh yeah, no, we need to hang on to Shesterkin.
I was convinced he was going to leave. Honestly, when he declined the first contract at the beginning of the season, I was like, oh, he's leaving. Like he wants to go somewhere else.
I already had to deal with you bastards stealing Juan Soto away from me this week, so I can't lose Shesterkin and Soto at the same time.
In the same span.
Same week. That would just be a bad week.
Yeah.
But anyway, the transfer portal, it's supposed to be more like a trade deadline sort of deal.
Okay, yeah, that should be
That's
interesting.
cool.
I get it. Like I said, I think they're trying to make it seem more like professional sports leagues where it's like, oh, we have a trade deadline and a free agent board and this and that and whatever nonsense bullshit. Because like, who knows if they're still gonna do like a draft every year?
They might. I don't see why they wouldn't.
They should.
I don't necessarily see a reason why they wouldn't. It's a
I
very
know.
popular
They
show
need
now,
to
so.
change it up though, because it's like the past couple years have been insanely predictable on where everyone's going. Like, because Seth Rollins is never leaving Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
No.
Like, that is his show. And
You know how you can change things?
Where he goes, Becky goes.
Yeah.
You know how you can change things? And I'm going to get really close to the camera.
Please don't.
Stop fucking drafting groups. That's how you can change a lot in the draft. Stop drafting fucking teams.
That's not the point that I was trying to make.
Insanely stupid.
That's not the point that I was trying to make. I'm just saying there's certain people that are like specific to certain shows, and we know that that's where they're going to stay. Like, Roman's not going to leave SmackDown.
I don't know. There have been rumors that he might be for Raw now.
I don't know.
Nah, they're entertainers. They can go F themselves about wanting to be in certain spots. You go where you're damn willing to go because you get paid all that money to do it. So you're gonna get switched. It doesn't matter. Oh, you're not part of Raw anymore. Oh well, get over it. You're now gonna go to SmackDown and try to do good in SmackDown. Stop trying to favor a brand. You don't have the right to favor a brand.
Bro, I love how you act like politics aren't a thing.
No, I'm the same way. I'm the same way with athletes in like football and other sports.
That's
you
different.
Guys make
that's
millions.
Not fucking pre-scripted bullshit.
That's a different thing, though.
It doesn't matter, but there has to be. Yeah, but we can't also be thinking that they're always going to put Rollins. I mean, Rollins had to have a say into. I don't want to go to any other show but this show. I don't want to leave this show.
Bro, he made it part of his gimmick. The whole Monday Night Rollins thing. They can't move into SmackDown.
Were you this?
Yeah, so did Chris Jericho, and yet when he returned, he went to SmackDown.
That was a return. That's different.
Yeah, but still, Raw is Jericho was well a thing before Monday Night Rollins.
Yeah, and then he came back and he came up with the list.
Okay, so then let me ask you.
I missed the list.
Did you hold this energy when Cena was on SmackDown for like a decade or something like that?
There was the least of my issues was seeing Cena constantly on SmackDown. My issue was constantly him having a fucking title match or a contenders match and never ever doing anything else. That was more of an issue with me than anything.
He was the top guy of the company, man.
I know. I know he was.
Whatever. Anyway, let's move on.
But there was more issues than him just staying in one brand.
All right. Anyway,
Rollins is constantly with the championship.
All right. Anyway, Francis, my man, you had a topic.
I did.
Yes.
So, late last week, it was announced that next year, I'm going to shift away from WWE to their new buddies, TNA, and they announced that I love now, Scotty, this one's going to be for you. We mentioned that AEW is losing steadily more and more audience members. But meanwhile, TNA is gaining more. They're gaining more audience members, so much to the point that they are feeling brave enough to try and sell out the UBS Arena in New York for their Slammiversary pay-per-view in July of next year. Do you guys think that A, they will pull it off, and B, if they do, what does that mean for the company and their future?
I think this is actually a very good topic, man.
I think honestly, I think it's a little over ambitious. I think they could do it, but it's going to take some work.
Yeah.
I don't think them going to a bigger area is not going to. It's not going to work out. I don't think so. They're still not at that level. They rose a little bit because of the brand split, which I don't even know if they're still doing that.
The NXT crossovers?
No, it still happens.
No,
it's not as prominent, but it is happening.
They're still listed on Wikipedia as a partner promotion with WWE, so My thing was maybe they could call in a favor, or maybe have
I mean,
another NXT crossover over the summer.
funny thing is, you mentioned ratings, and I actually looked at the TV ratings again from the website that I
For
got.
TNA?
Normally, AEW's the same website where I got AEW's decline. I currently looked at I did look at AEW's declining numbers, but I also saw something else. When you said TNA is gaining fan numbers and fans and watching, it kind of made sense because it doesn't show TNA's TV ratings.
No.
Because when I looked at AEW's ratings go down in numbers and fans, I didn't really see an opposite reaction to WWE. Like TNA was kind of staying the same, Raw and SmackDown was staying the same. So I was always wondering, where did those fans go to? And I think TNA fans, the AEW fans, are currently switching over to TNA. I don't think they're going to WWE because if they're going up, and I don't really see the other shows going up in numbers as they declined, WWE's kind of stayed the same, kind of goes up a little bit, but it's never gone up to a point where it's like consistent.
Yeah. So like what you're saying, Scott, is you're noticing like
a lot of AEW fans jumping ship to TNA.
Yeah, because
they're either not watching AEW anymore or wrestling overall, or they're switching over TNA and New Japan, because I think that's another one I couldn't see.
Yeah. So I mean,
but no, TNA. I don't know. It's wishful thinking. I just don't think they don't have the numbers yet to do something like that.
I think they could pull it off if they did another WWE crossover.
See, that's the thing. I don't think they're going to sell out the arena, but I think they're definitely going to sell more tickets than AEW would.
I think
you would need main roster of talent in order to fill up that arena.
They would need to
brand split.
Yeah, they would need to do like maybe fucking send like Shinsuke Nakamura over.
Yeah.
Or
they have AJ go up and said, "Hey guys."
Yeah, like AJ would be a great one to send over, or like maybe have LA Knight would be a good one to have. Like, someone who's not like you don't want to fucking send Cody Rhodes.
No.
Like that's overkill.
No. Yeah.
But like you say like, okay, hey, maybe we're gonna do like a Forbidden Door type thing, where we're gonna have some WWE talent. Like you send AJ Styles, you send Shinsuke, LA Knight, The Miz. Yeah. Fucking maybe you have like a return of Kurt Angle.
Asuka.
Or like Asuka would be fun. But like Kurt Angle's showing up and like cutting a promo on somebody, like nothing crazy. He doesn't have to do anything crazy. He just has to be there. But like just have like fucking The Miz challenge
Nick Nemeth.
Yeah, exactly. Like something like that.
Or Steve Macklin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even have like a WWE guy go after the world title, the TNA Championship. Just to build a little something, like just to have some excitement around it, where you'll get more people to buy and check it out.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very interesting. I think it's bold of them for sure to try this.
Yeah.
If
they sell it out, I think we'd all be happy.
Like I said, yeah. I don't think they'll sell out, but I think they'll definitely sell more than AEW would. Because like, what was it? AEW just recently had Full Gear at the Prudential Center, and I think they barely sold like a quarter of the seats.
Yeah.
And they put them all on the hard cam.
Meanwhile, TNA, I forgot what the recent pay-per-view they had. From all the social media outlets I've heard, that place for such a small venue was barely packed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is good for them,
No, absolutely.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think this could go. I think it could be fine for them. I think it's definitely worth giving a try. I think if you definitely follow, Dom's plan, maybe have like AJ Styles, LA Knight, some people like those show up.
People that are in WWE that have been on TNA before.
Yeah.
I think that would definitely help in boosting ticket sales. You just gotta, namely, keep it to like TNA alumni, I would
Yeah.
say. And then of course, there's the main attraction himself as to why this could work out.
Do you still have the soundbite, Dom?
Which one?
You know, the most
Right
over
about
man in
TNA.
wrestling.
Most over man in professional wrestling.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Thank you. I was actually going to bring him up because, like, let's be real here. He's definitely going to show up at the Royal Rumble. Maybe he can start building towards something at the Rumble.
I'll honestly be shocked if he doesn't show up at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
I agree. But
I'm gonna laugh so hard if number 30 pops up and it's not him or any of the numbers.
If he shows up at number 30, I'm going to shit myself.
If they're doing this bigger arena thing, you have to imagine he is a headliner.
He
has to be. He's like,
he's their top guy.
Like who would have thought becoming a meme is like the best way to get popular in wrestling?
In 2024, everybody would have thought that.
I mean, TNA has to test.
Human being
In another sense, yeah. In another sense, TNA is gonna have to test it out. If their small venues are packing out, at some point you're gonna have to test, see if you can fill up more seats. Exactly. And what's better than Slammiversary? I mean, that is their.
That's the whole thing. That's their
WrestleMania,
mania.
I think.
Yeah, Slammiversary is their mania. So it's like that's the best time to try to sell out a bigger arena.
Exactly.
Maybe they don't do. They definitely won't be able to do it every week, but for like the major pay-per-views, because that's what like WWE does. Because that's like WWE. For the big four, they do the big outdoor venues like MetLife Stadium or I don't know fucking stadium names, but you get my point. Like all the football stadiums.
Think of it more like an NXT event. They have the smaller arenas for their weekly shows.
Yeah, and then they do takeovers at like the Barclays Center.
Usually wherever they're having the big premium live event that weekend. Usually the next night is takeovers.
Just don't go to AccuShore. That stadium's terrible.
I don't think they plan it.
It's too cold anyway.
100%.
Bro, you act like it's a fucking bad stadium. AccuShore Stadium is one of like the best stadiums in the NFL.
No, yeah, the stadium's nice. It is way too fucking.
It's just
cold
a fucking wind. It's just a fucking wind tunnel in Pittsburgh.
Maybe in the summer.
Yeah, for like SummerSlam it would be great, but like for Mania it would be too goddamn cold.
Fuck that. We are not freezing our nuts off for WrestleMania. All right, that's all I had to say about that. Thank you for your input, gentlemen. You want to wrap things up with predictions?
Yeah.
And that's all I gotta say about that.
Thank you, Mr. Hanks.
At least you figured out what I was doing. I felt like I botched his accent, but yeah, go on, Kevin.
It's hard.
Regardless. Francis just literally knows every line of
every fucking reference.
My mind is a meme server. God help me.
There's no God here.
Yeah, for real.
Anyway,
right, so
let us do the predictions for this weekend's Saturday night main event on NBC.
Okay, my prediction: Jesse the Body Ventura is going to beat Hulk Hogan for the Intercontinental Championship.
That would be That would be an incredible
Carter belt, and
imagine. Could you imagine?
Hogan would rather die than go for a mid-Carter belt, and we all know that.
Hold on, I'll give you my predictions. This is for all three. This is actually for the entire Saturday night live event. A couple of things. One, the best thing is going to be hearing Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's the best thing. So great. Because coming from a person that constantly heard his voice coming from politics, which he's very smart and very
former governor
seems like a great man to get to know. But here's also the other thing. That's not a good thing that he's going to be the best part, because not a single champion is going to lose their championship. No. That's my opinion. That's mine. Okay. It's not happening. It should happen, It
should,
should
but it
happen
won't.
because this is like the biggest event and it's the first time coming back, I believe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It is.
no, it's not going to happen.
I
Nobody's
just
losing
don't.
it.
I don't think it's gonna happen in this one. I don't think anybody's losing their. I don't
The
think
matches,
anybody's losing titles.
Yeah.
the matches are great, but you didn't put anybody in there as a contender who we say, oh, this is possible.
They might
like
win,
they could
yeah.
win
Yeah.
it. No,
How many
we're
championship
watching
matches are there?
3.
Oh, okay.
Liv is defending her title against Io Sky, which we know Liv is not going to lose that title.
Yeah.
Gunther already versed Finn and Damian Priest for that title. He's versed him again. We know that always winds up the same way.
Mhm.
Gunther's probably going to win. And
Gunther
as for
needs
the
the win.
third match,
Cody Kevin.
There's actually
Cody
5
Kevin.
matches on this card, guys.
5?
another one?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What are the other 2 matches?
So there are the 3 title matches. There's also the Women's United States. Actually, so no, you're completely wrong. There will be a new title, a new champion in this show.
Will be a new
That
champion.
doesn't
yeah.
fucking
Will be
count.
the semifinal and finals of the Women's United States Championship tournament. So we got Bailey, which everybody loves Bailey. We got
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton. Unfortunately, I do not think it is Tiffy time right now.
Nah.
We got Mia Yim, my
Ooh.
girl Mia Yim in this one, who, don't get me wrong, I absolutely believe that this is a title that she should be holding at some point.
I don't think she should be the inaugural champion.
I don't think she is going to be the inaugural champion, but I definitely see her holding this title at some point very, very soon. Maybe next year, to be honest with you.
I honestly see Bailey Thickums winning that title.
Well, don't give your predictions yet, Scott. You keep that to yourself, and you act right on this show. But right now, before I mention
Bailey Stickums.
Thickums.
the fourth woman,
Bailey
in this tournament.
Thickums.
Before I mention the 4th woman in this tournament,
Oh my
you keep
God.
that prediction to yourself. It's everybody's girl, Chelsea Green.
Mm.
Oh, god damn it.
Wait, so is it a fatal 4-way?
No, it's 2 singles matches. It's
Semifinals and the finals. Okay.
So the matches are Bailey versus Chelsea
Okay.
and Michin versus Tiffany.
Mm.
I'm gonna be very honest with y'all for a second. Like I said, I definitely see I want to see my girl Mia hold this title at some point.
Nice.
Unironically, believe it's going to be Chelsea.
No.
Same.
Yeah,
gonna be Bailey.
I think the finals. I would like to see Chelsea Green holding the title, but again, I don't know. I feel like the finals is going to come down to Tiffany Stratton and Bailey, and then Bailey's going to pull it out.
Yeah.
Bailey has to win it because it's the new champion.
I mean, she's
has
a
the
big
biggest-
enough name to
Had legitimacy
give
to
the
it.
title some prestige.
Yeah.
I
And she's
understand
still
that they're also,
and
like,
she's still insanely favorited.
She is.
Ever since she re-won that title, she's been the favorite ever since, and she's still the favorite even without a title.
She's favorited, yes. However, what we have to also consider here is the fact that, well, I'm not going to be mad if Bailey does end up walking out with this belt. But something for some reason is telling me it's Chelsea, just because let's look at the facts here. Chelsea Green is extremely over with the crowd.
That is true.
She is extremely over with people. And, I think, I don't know, man, something in me is looking at the list of names here, and for some reason Chelsea's name is popping out.
I can tell you why.
Why?
It's because you're thinking with your head, and I don't mean this one.
Definitely not, sir, but okay.
Yes, you all are. You all probably are picking Chelsea Green.
No,
sorry.
I fucking just said
Sir.
Bailey. I literally just said Bailey's gonna win.
Sir.
You fucking idiot.
First of all,
But
no,
there
I'm
could
not.
be 2 predictions. There could be a person you want to win, and then there's the person that you know should win.
No, I
Yeah.
think Bailey should win.
Yeah, all right.
I think
Yeah.
that
Fucking
Bayley
ass
would
made
be
you
the
fucking pay attention when I talk.
And mainly, all right, at least I got half. I got 2/3 of it right because I know them two are definitely picking Chelsea Green.
Hold on. I'm going to flip for it.
Oh God.
Yeah, Chelsea.
You could have at least done that on screen. You know?
Yeah, really.
But anyway, regardless. Also, I'm sorry. You freaking hypocrite. What are you talking about? You started this by calling her Bailey Thickums, you hypocrite.
I mean, she's kind of thick. What do you want to?
Yeah, but Bailey's actually a lot more skilled than Chelsea Green when it comes to wrestling. So it kind of makes. And also,
I'm not even
she's
disagreeing.
the only
with
one
her.
who
I'm calling you a hypocrite, you bastard.
No, she's the only one who has power in her name because the other three wrestlers haven't done crap.
No,
And
that
yes,
is a
I
legit
understand
point.
I understand Tiffany Stratton has the money in the bank, but at this point, she still hasn't done crap because she still has. Because the fact that she's constantly, it's like, oh, I'm gonna catch it this time.
Man.
we're doing a War Games match. Oh, here I might catch it during War Games, which I don't know how you make those rules.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid, in my opinion.
All right. Anyway, so there's that match, and then there's also oh yeah, let's talk about this a little bit, I guess. There's also Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
Where the fuck did that come from?
It was just added this past week, man. This last episode on Raw, it was just
I mean,
added.
I'm hyped to see Drew back.
I think it was interesting what they were doing for a moment last week when, Jey Uso got attacked by a mystery person. I thought, Sammy thought it was Seth. For a nanosecond, I thought it was Sammy for some reason. Like they were just going to go really out of left field. And, have Sammy turn on Jay. And then here comes that big Scottish psychopath kicking people's heads off their shoulders. And in a video package this week, they talked about, talking about, who attacked Jey Uso, and Drew just came out and said, no, that was all me. That was all me.
It was me, Sammy.
I'll give you my prediction for this because I also wanted to mention something that seemed very interesting because everybody's talking about it, and I kind of hope this happens. One, Drew's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Obviously. He's coming back, and honestly don't see Sammy winning it. But also,
it's true.
A lot of people have been talking. They've been wanting to see this faction because they all have one thing in common, and you guys will know who it is.
3-man band.
3-man, yeah, exactly. The new 3-man band.
I was fucking joking.
McIntyre but here's the trio that I'm thinking of: McIntyre, Owens, and Rollins.
Oh God, no.
Because they all have the same enemy.
Sami Zayn.
Roman.
Bloodline, you fucking idiot.
Bloodline.
Kevin Owens hates people because of the bloodline. Seth Rollins is the exact same way. Seth Rollins is kind of a little bit obsessive because it's been 12 years and he's still obsessed over CM Punk. And Drew McIntyre, who's also expressed dissatisfaction for both and who hates people for joining. They all three of them have the same in common, and they all hate the wrestlers that joined Roman after what Roman has done the past 3 years.
It's just what makes me laugh with Seth is like such a double standard where he's like, he betrayed everybody. I'm like, bro, you hit him first. Yeah. You started it.
Because of you.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing that they did with that promo last week, man, because when you really think about it, actually, this entire thing is Seth's fault to some degree.
But the thing is, Seth, it made no sense that when Seth was trying to be like, yeah, it made sense for you, Roman was treating you like crap. It made sense for you to return. What were you trying to prove by saying that? You had no right to turn on Roman at that time. And yet you're going to tell Sammy, it made sense. Yeah, damn right. Sami Zayn had a damn well good excuse for turning on Roman. And that was because Roman was being selfish and not letting him join the group when he's shown time and time again that he was for the bloodline. Rollins, you just did it. You just did it because you couldn't win anything. And you had to betray your team in order to be a champion.
And the Authority gave him a lot of money.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know.
What caused the
He's
breaking of the
he's
shield?
pissing me off with
Capitalism.
it.
That's what
Money.
Capitalism.
Capitalism. Money. Prison.
The thing that breaks up all good brotherhoods, man, money. That's
Guys, if we ever get into big money, we have to promise each other we won't betray each other over it.
The second
It's okay,
I
we'll kick you out.
the second
We'll
I get
kick
into
you out,
big
and
money,
it'll be
I'm
us three.
beating you with a fucking chair. And
Got it.
instantly. Instantly.
Cool. I'm Roman. I'm
If the show
Roman.
ever gets into big money, we're all going to be standing there with steel chairs looking at each other.
We're all going to try and figure out who's going to be
No.
Roman.
I know exactly how it's going to be. We're going to hit Francis with a chair, and we're going to be like, Pat mentions Instagram on TikTok on our live. What do you say? And Francis just goes, nice plug. Damn, no, you shut your mouth. God damn it, you shut your mouth. And he says that shit.
It's just a moment I see. No, what's going to end up happening is we're going to get like our first million, and then immediately afterwards, fatal 4-way ladder match for the bag of money dangling from the top of the ring.
I'll be down for that. I'd be down for that. That'd be fun.
Oh god!
I'll be the spot monkey for
times
that.
does Francis just get pushed off a ladder?
I'm gonna super swanton your ass, Cap. I don't care if I miss. I'm still gonna do it.
You're gonna get your neck broken. Is what you're gonna
Yeah,
do.
but I still got that fade. I don't care. I still ran the hands. That's all that matters.
What's gonna happen is you do that. You're gonna break your neck, and then we're all gonna blame you for breaking your neck, and then we all become negative.
Yeah.
God, we have no other topics, and we got to end it on Francis saying that crap.
Well, I mean, all I have to say before we finish is I think Saturday night's main event is going to be an entertaining show, but it's going to be very predictable.
Yeah.
I think. Look. I think our predictions themselves
Are all the same.
It's not a PLE. It doesn't.
I would say honestly, the only one that's a toss-up is the women's the women's U.S. Championship.
Yeah.
Everything else is none of the champions, none of the current champions are losing their belts. And Drew beats Sami Zayn.
I mean,
we pretty much all have the same except for the women's titles.
True.
Cap and Francis have Chelsea Green.
I think. I think our predictions here themselves is kind of indicative of what Saturday Night Live is going to be. Is it predictable?
Saturday Night Main Event is not fucking SNL.
God damn you!
What do you want me to tell you?
That's like the third time someone's called it SNL this fucking episode. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Saturday Night. I think that this is the thing, man. Our predictions themselves are very indicative of what the actual show is going to be. Predictable. Absolutely, 100% predictable. We, aside from the one match,
but it will be entertaining.
But were they entertaining?
Absolutely. I hope they bring back.
Listen, I'm hyped to just see the fucking the Winged Eagle back,
and the old set.
That too.
In conclusion, they better play Phil Collins at the end like they used to for the old one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not Saturday Night Main Event without
Phil Collins. Yeah, come on. You got to have some Phil Collins.
Absolutely. What did we learn from that? It's going to be entertaining. They need to play Phil Collins, and we're all going to betray each other for money.
Yep.
Yeah. Without hesitation.
Without hesitation.
We're kind of scum. We're kind of scum like that.
That's a great ending to the show. Cap, that's great.
Anyway, folks, we want to thank you for watching the stream tonight. If you enjoyed what you heard here tonight, please be sure to follow us here on Twitch and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where the VODs of the streams usually end up there the very next day. We want to ask you to follow us on TikTok and Instagram as well.
Until TikTok gets banned next month.
Until TikTok gets banned, and then we got to figure out another place where we can put.
Just do Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Probably just do.
Don't worry, there'll be
a
new platform that pops up.
Yeah,
whatever. Snapchat's coming back.
Absolutely the fuck not.
Absolutely not. We are never going.
Also, before we leave, any topics you want us to listen to, please write it in the comment section under Twitch and YouTube.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, absolutely. If you, the audience, has any topics you want us to talk about, please leave it in the comments of both Twitch and the YouTube VOD. Or in our Instagram comments too, if you guys feel like there's something you want to talk about, you feel like we should talk about, absolutely. Let us know, man. The year is winding down. We got a lot of fun things coming up. Very soon we are going to be doing, and I mentioned this to Francis and Dom and Scott. Dom, this will be your first time. We are going to be very soon doing our best of 2024 episode. Yeah, that's right. We're going to be counting down the best moments in wrestling from 2024.
That's our New Year's special, bitches.
Okay.
I have a few ideas.
All of this counting down to our official 1-year anniversary of the push.
God damn.
Coming up soon, people. 1-year anniversary.
The push show, yeah.
Right, we've been doing this for 1 year. So anyway, for all of us here at the push, my name is Cap.
I'm Dom.
Got bashed.
And I'm Francis.
Ring that bell for me, Dom.